So we've got a poll here that says, are you currently blogging to market your business online? And this is actually quite interesting. 40% are not blogging, still learning. 7% aren't even familiar with it. So about half are not blogging at all. 29% are blogging on your own website, and 24% are blogging on other websites. Okay, very interesting. So good, you guys are in the right place. For those of you that don't know, my name is Lori Ballen. I own a real estate team in Las Vegas, Lori Ballen team, serving Henderson and North Las Vegas. I own a digital marketing company called ballenbrands.com, where we build your real estate agent websites, do your marketing for you, pay-per-click services, we blog for you. But I'm a teacher first. That's my natural trait, and a marketer. So that is what I teach around, is my direct experience out there for in what I do and in what I do for my clients. So I'm constantly innovating and testing and measuring. I've got a large team. My marketing company, I have virtual assistants in the Philippines. I've got agents, and I've got employees in Texas and Wisconsin, and we're all over the place. Here in Vegas, we work virtual. All right, so we're all constantly innovating. Now, what I want to talk about today, oh, you guys can't see my screen, can you? Let me get the question bar open there. Somebody let me know if you can see my screen. I don't think I'm sharing yet, am I? So I was just about to start bouncing around. No and yes. No. Now can you see my screen? Here we go. Should be good there. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. Right before I got on this webinar this morning, I've been innovating and researching, and oh, I cannot believe the changes, constant changes in search engine optimization. Well, changes in digital strategies altogether, right? So I'm going to tie this in a little bit, what I was looking at this morning and what we're talking about today. So specifically today, where it comes to blogging, our blog topic, and I can teach you all kinds of things with blogging that have different desired outcomes. You know, there's blogging for cultivation processes in your funnel. You know, there's blogging for value articles to people you've already met or you've already come in contact with online. There's blogging for attraction. There's blogging for hyperlocal relationships with Google and the consumer, for that personalization to have them on your website. There's blogging for social media. Okay, there's all kinds. Today we're going to specifically talk about how to blog to get in a top position on Google. Desired is number 1 or 0, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, so everybody with me? That's what we're going to talk about. So all kinds of stuff on how to blog, but today I'm going to talk about how to get there to number 1, and this morning ties directly into that. All right, first thing, I have my Google Analytics open here. I want to show you these. Almost all of my marketing is organic, by the way, earned in. We don't do a lot of paid. Strategically, we do paid for our clients, and we do a small handful for our own companies, and primarily for the data, which is a whole nother story. But you know, let's take a look here at what pages on my website are performing at the highest levels. And what that means is not converting at the highest levels. That's another conversation as well. Which ones are bringing in the most traffic? So which ones are performing the best as far as traffic? Okay. So the first one we have up here is our home page. Great. That's the way it should be. Second one here, selling a home. How to buy and bury the St. Joseph statue. Okay, now I could tell you a long story about the St. Joseph statue today, but I won't. But I'll just tell you that I discovered this topic by accident. Actually, I discovered this topic by research, so I'm going to say it was on purpose, but I didn't know that I was looking for that. I was just doing research on what people look for when it comes to real estate, and I found that blog post and I built it. Now, look what happens if you go over to Google and type in St. Joseph statue. Okay, first thing you're going to get here is a place to buy the statues, which is great. So that's what a lot of people are looking for in the first place. Then you've got a couple ads. Who can tell me what this is in the top position? I know I can see some of my smarty pants on here, some of my trainers, some of my regular Ballen Method students. I have a training course at theballenmethod.com that teaches you how to do all this. And I know a lot of you guys have been studying that for a while. Okay, yes, Wendy, yes, Reagan. This is a featured rich snippet, not just a rich snippet, it's a featured rich snippet. And what position is that technically in? Yes, Donna, 0 position. 0 position. Okay, now this is an earned in featured snippet, and this is my blog post, by the way. Even though it's on LinkedIn, it's my blog post. It's an earned in position because Google believes that I have one of the highest ranking pages and one of the best answers for the particular phrase that I typed in. And it changes depending on how you change your phrase, by the way. I may not always be up there, but for this particular phrase. Okay. Now, if I scroll down, we've got this people also ask box, which we talk about in other webinars. Number 1 spot is how to bury the St. Joseph statue, and then my LinkedIn blog is number 2, and then my own real estate website is number 3. So I have the 0 position, the number 2 position, and the number 3 position for that blog post, okay? I wanted to point that out so that you guys can see what the end desired result is. Now forget for a second, if you guys are real estate agents, and I know a lot of my followers are real estate agents, that may or may not be a direct lead capture page, although trust me, it is. It may not be lucrative though, and that's another long story because of what people register for. But it works. This is how you get out there and you get your blog post to the top of the search engines. Okay. So here's what I did right about this blog post. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the LinkedIn one. All right. Who can tell me why I would put a blog on LinkedIn? And by the way, LinkedIn is free. LinkedIn Pulse is free, and it's amazing. So here's my blog post. So I've got a title. I've got, in this particular case, I've got the prayer. I've got links to other things on my website. Who can tell me why I would put it on LinkedIn? See, lots of the same question. I'll go ahead and come back to your guys' question because I see it. I see it. All right, so actually your questions kind of answer this. Okay, here's the reason why we do this. Your blog posts and your web pages will rank in direct proportion to how authoritative they are, how trusted they are in the eyes of Google, what their search engine visibility is like, and how topical the website's theme is, how on topic it is, how specific the topic is for that website. Okay? These are like just some of the basic overview of why a website ranks so well. Okay. Now, when I first put this up here on LinkedIn, it was May of 2015. So we're talking a couple years ago. The reason why we do this is a couple-fold. One, we're borrowing the authority of a website that's more authoritative than our own. So I rebuilt my Vegas website. Well, now I'm on my 3rd round because I'm constantly innovating and coming up with new things. And when that happens, there's usually a dip in traffic. Especially if you're moving domains, setting up a new domain, which we did. We changed branding, we changed URLs. And so when you blog on another platform that has authority, you have a better chance of ranking higher on the search engines for that blog post than you do on your own website. So if Google's going to award, typically it's going to return in the search engine results page the highest authority website and the most on topic website. Okay. Now, the people that are asking me about duplicate content, do you also put this on your own website? Yes and no, depending on what I'm doing and going after. Okay, so here's what happens. If I have a blog post that I have written and I put it on my website, I might also put that blog post on Active Rain, and I might also put that blog post on LinkedIn Pulse. and I might also put that blog post on Medium, and I might also put that blog post on realtytimes.com, and I could go on and on. There's several, okay? Now, on my own blog, I can have what's called a canonical link, and in WordPress, it's actually quite simple. If you have Yoast, let me show this to you here. If you have Yoast, down at the bottom, you can also just, there's lots of canonical plugins that you can do this with. Down at the bottom, for those that are asking the geekier questions, I want to make sure I answer this. Oh, it looks like I'm using this one, SEO plugin canonical settings. I'm not sure which plugin that's through. All I have to do is paste this page's URL right here, and it'll actually canonicalize to itself. And it tells, what canonical is it says, hey Google, I'm aware that there are more than one copy of this page out there on the internet. I'm aware of that. I'm disclosing it, no problem. This is what it is. And I would like this page to be the original authority on the topic. But guys, let me tell you something. Canonical is a, I forget the word I'm looking for. It's not a directive. It's a hint. It's a suggestion. It says, Google, I'd like it if I'm gonna put more than one copy out there on the internet. I'm gonna syndicate this blog post. I would like my main website to outrank every other one, and they'll take that into consideration. But it's not an order. It's not a directive. So what happens typically is Google will still look at it and say, all right, well, and mine are both. I've actually changed mine, so they're not the exact same copy anymore. But Google will try, if they see two pieces of the same content, it's not that they penalize anybody. It's that they say, you know what, we're only going to return one of these pages to the user, to the end consumer. Which one's the most relative? Okay, the LinkedIn blog post we think has more authority, so we're going to rank that and not her blog post, okay? Now, a lot of people say, don't do that. Never, never duplicate your content. Never put it out there on the web. Syndicate. That's really syndicating. Duplicate content is more of when you have multiple content on your own website that's the same, but that's another conversation. Syndicating your blog out there and putting it in more than one place is very commonly done and is a fine practice. But it's people say don't do it because you want your own blog to rank. Well, what if your own website won't? What if your own website won't rank because it doesn't have enough authority, doesn't have enough backlinks, it hasn't been around long enough, it doesn't have enough search engine visibility? So you don't copy it on LinkedIn, and you also don't rank on your own website. Now you have no opportunity of getting those people over to your website. So I'm a big believer in have a reason to go ahead and duplicate that. Go ahead and put your blog out there. You know, if your website allows you to put a simple canonical tag on there to give Google that suggestion, great, do it. You know, you can also put a link back at the bottom of that blog post that says original article here. That's fine. Active Rain won't feature you if you do that. That's a real estate platform, by the way, for the real estate agents that want to blog Active Rain. From what I understand, they won't give you a feature if you have an original link back to your own blog post. But anyway, so you rank it's not just your content, it's not just the blog we're about to write, okay? It's your website has a lot to do with this. Does it load fast? Is it mobile responsive? Does it provide a good quality user experience? Over here on my company, ballenbrands.com Brew, check out these real estate websites. So we build on WordPress, and we have built-in. We integrate your IDX, your tracking, your blogs. We've built this all on my success with this. Okay. Now let's go back a second. And you can see my website here. Why do we do this? Why do we blog? Let me cover this real quick before I get into finding the topics and what needs to be on your blog, okay? Why do we blog? Several reasons, okay? But there's one main reason. Who was in my class in Vegas last week that flew down here to learn with me? Who remembers the one word I said, blogging is for, and you can guess, throw it in there. A blog is not typically written to generate a direct sale. And it's also not written necessarily to generate a direct lead that day. That's the hard part for real estate agents. Everybody wants instant results. This is a, and I know some of you guys are regular business owners too, not just real estate agents, attorneys and medical and cosmetology, and we all want instant results. This is not an instant result game. Search engine optimization is not an instant result game, but man, if you do it at a high level, it's a gift that keeps on giving and giving and giving and giving. My businesses are all driven through search engine optimization, social engine optimization, and word of mouth. And so it's a fantastic place to have, fantastic way to run a business. And when you earn in, if you run out of money, you don't just suddenly lose your leads overnight because you've earned in. Those leads will keep on coming. If you're buying in, and all of a sudden you can't afford that $500 that month anymore, or that $1,000, or that $10,000, or that $20,000. Oh my gosh, I know people are spending a lot of money on pay-per-click, and suddenly, you know, that's not working anymore. You don't have the money. Your leads don't go away when you earn in. Okay, so Reagan got it. I think Reagan's the only one that hit my answer on the head there. So the one main reason we blog is for attraction. We blog to attract people to our website, to attract people that are interested in a particular topic, to attract locals, to attract people that have a problem that we can solve. It's attraction, okay? And it stacks. So people will find one of our blogs that we wrote, and then they find another blog that we wrote. Then they're Googling something else, they find us again. And now they're Googling local information, and they find us again. And you know, we're everywhere. They're seeing it. And Google is also storing that relationship and saying, okay, this person is doing a search online, and they're finding Lori Ballen's real estate website in Las Vegas, and they found it 2 or 3 times over research. Then anytime they search anything that's related to Las Vegas real estate or things to do in Las Vegas, we're going to return Lori Ballen's website as a higher response than anybody else's, because it's storing this relationship. Okay, so we're attracting, we're creating content around attractions. Okay, the best blog posts solve a problem. So we're looking to inform, we're looking to educate. Some people write blogs to make you think. That's okay, thought leaders. And some people write blogs to entertain, like a funny mom blog or something, right? But in most of our industries, we're solving a problem, or we're educating them. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to look at. Who are my customers, and how do I solve their problem? Okay, so how do you get to number 1? The first thing we said was you got to have the right platform. You got to have a website that ranks well. You got to have a website that's built for SEO. You got to have a platform that's going to really help you grow and have no limitations, and you're going to be able to build your pages and posts and categories and have a strong IDX and all that good stuff. So you're going to want to have a good platform, or you're going to blog on somebody else's platform. So you could say, all right, I'm going to take Lori's classes, and I'm only going to blog on LinkedIn. That's going to be my blog platform, and see what you can do with it. That's okay too. Just make sure that you're driving links back to your main website to capture the lead, that you're including offers to capture the lead, calls to action, look at all homes now, get your instant home value now, you know, whatever your offer is, download this PDF, download this free guide. Speaking of free checklists, before I forget, Sabrina, do you have the checklist for everybody, the SEO on-page SEO guideline for their perfect blog post? Make sure that gets sent out to everybody so that they have that checklist, because today we're not going to have time to go down through the checklist. I want to make sure they get that. So Sabrina's going to get you the link, or email you, or whatever she's going to do with the SEO checklist. It shows you all the on-page SEO techniques. So once you write the blog, this is how to optimize it. You know, this is what kind of titles you need, and this is what kind of links you need, and this is how to optimize your image. Like you got a little checkbox so that you can go top to bottom. Okay, I did my title, I did the URL, I did the body, I did the category, I added an image, I added it. She's going to send that all to you, okay? And if you go to youtube.com/Lori Ballen, I made a 2 killer videos back to back this week on on-page SEO and how to create the perfect blog, okay? All right, so we've got a great platform now, and now we know what we're thinking about, what problems our clients have. Okay, so I'm going to use this handy dandy tool that I just love called SEMrush, And we're going to go over here to something called an SEO Content Template, because I want to show you an example. It's not that you have to use this tool, but I want to show you an example of something. All right. Sabrina's also make sure they have the link to SEMrush if they want to try it, please. All right, somebody give me a problem that a potential customer of yours might have. All right, so you've identified who your customer is, or who you want them to be, and you've identified you know, what questions they have. Now, if you haven't identified what questions they have, go over here to this website. This is a really cool website called answerthepublic.com, and type something in here like how to buy a house. I'm just giving an example for the real estate industry there. All right, I'll use yours, Reagan. Hang on a second. Oh, that's another good one, Donna. But okay, so how to buy a house. If you go down here, there's a list of questions of what people actually ask on the web, and you can turn these into data, a list, okay? So how to buy a house for the first time, how to buy a house without credit, how to build a house, how to buy a house as a first-time home buyer, how to buy a house and sell a house at the same time, how to buy a house after foreclosure, like all of these kind of questions, hows and whys and everything else, okay? All right, so credit came up. So let's just say we're going to write a blog post on how to build credit to buy a house. Okay. By the way, for those of you that are real estate agents, credit is one of my top performing blog posts. I didn't finish showing you all of my blog posts here. How about this one? How to keep bugs off your screen door. That's one of my top performing blog posts. What snakes are in Las Vegas? There's another good one. Anyway, credit's on there. What credit score do you need to buy a house? I think it's called. It's one of my top performing ones. Also, how much does it cost to buy a house? What are closing costs when you sell a house? How long does it take to buy or sell a house? Those are some of my best performing blog posts, just in sidebar there. Okay, so we're going to do how to build credit to buy a house. Okay, the first thing I would do is I'd go over to Google. Let's pop open Google here and type in how to build credit to buy a house. See all these suggestions? Okay, I would take a close look at all those suggestions. They're there for a reason. They're there because people have typed in those keyword phrases in the last 90 days. So they're popular, okay? So how to fix credit fast. So here's how I'd compare this. Look at this. So how to build credit to buy a house has 110 monthly searches. Now, if we take Google's suggestion, how to fix credit fast to buy a house, it drops down to 50, but it might be less competitive. What credit score? You know, what credit score? Let me see. What should my credit score be to buy a home? Okay, let's use that one, only because I know how powerful that one is too. You can turn that one into how to build credit too, okay? Let me paste that in there. All right, now over here, using this little tool here, we can say, all right, show me national responses or show me only where I live. So let me go ahead and do this and say, what is my competition like in Las Vegas? If I'm going to write a blog and I want it to go to a #1 position, am I writing on a topic that I can go to #1 on? Or is it so competitive that the odds of getting to #1 for that blog are slim to none? Let's take a look. So I'm going to go to Create SEO Template, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to look first at what's on Google. All right, couple sponsored ads, featured rich snippet, people also ask box, lenders network, credit sesame, smart asset, bank rate, FHA, credit karma. Wow, I'm surprised I do so well on that title. I think mine's called What Credit Score Do I Need to Buy a House? Now let's try something for a second. I'm in brainstorm mood today, so let's try in Las Vegas. Yep, that made all the difference in the world. So if they use the word in Las Vegas, I'm #1. That's why I'm getting all that traffic. Anything else you notice about my search result there? Can't believe we only have 5 minutes left. I've got emojis in the site links. I've got site links. Nobody else has site links other than paid. Mine are earned in. So I earn those in. That's a whole nother conversation about how I got them there. Long story short, I rank high for the blog post, and I use a table of contents. All right. Somebody was asking me about that little tool up here, this right here. This is called Keywords Anywhere, and it's a plugin for Chrome, and it's free. So if you're using Chrome, you add the extension. It's called Keywords Everywhere or Keywords Anywhere. I always get that mixed up. That's what that was, so for that question. How do I get the emojis in there? I put the emoji in my table of contents. So if I were to right-click on this, open in a new tab, there's my table of contents. See how I have emojis in the table of contents? That's why some of them are showing up right here on the site links. And the table of contents plus the schema markup is how I'm getting them, earning these site links. But those are other conversations, of course. But you're getting the checklist, so some of that's on there. Okay, so here's a prime example of another blog post that I did really well, and it's ranking very well in the search engines. Now, let's take a look at it for a second. So it's got a table of contents. It's got images. The images are optimized for the search engines. It's got internal links that link to other pages on my website. It's got offers. It's got symbols. It's got paragraph breaks. You're going to see all this on the checklist. It's got a pricing table, which is a call to action. I'm not sure why everything is so big right now. I have my screen maximized. It's got numbered lists, which is something I always suggest, right? It's got thousands of words on the page. I know, it's probably really scary, isn't it, to look at all that. So over here, if I look at SEMrush has this cool tool called SEO Content Template. And what it did for me is it scoured the web and it said, okay, Lori, if you want to rank for what should my credit score be to buy a home in Las Vegas or something similar, exact match keywords and all that stuff doesn't really matter. However, I just showed you how typing in the word Las Vegas or not typing it in did make a difference in that case. But top 10 rivals, here's what they all have in common. Their average is 1,055 words. That's their average. That's how deep they dived into the topic. So the average blog post on credit scores in Las Vegas, because remember it pulled local, in Nevada, is 1,055. That means they probably each have like 5 paragraphs. Okay? So how did I beat them? How do I beat those kind of people for my own? Then I dive in deeper to the topic. I make it better. Infographics, links, tools, calculators, quotes, statistics. You know, I'm going to provide the best possible user experience you can imagine, and I'm going to cover that topic in depth. Now, here's the good news. You can hire this out. My company, ballenbrands.com, does this for our clients. You can also use an apprentice at the college. You can use ghostwriters. Definitely can use a ghostwriter and say, hey, here's what I want. I want a 1,500-word blog post on how to raise your credit score to buy a house. They will go scour the web, they will pull all the data, and they will put that into a text form for you. Now, once you get it back, you have to optimize it, put in the images and the links and the whatever, or you hire that out as well. There are companies that will do just that, optimize your blog post for you. Or like I said, ballenbrands.com, we do the whole thing, start to finish, all the way around. Or you can learn the techniques and break it down onto a calendar for you so that it's easy to do. So if you said, I'm going to do this credit blog, and it's going to be 2,000 words, but that's all I'm going to do this month. That's the only blog I'm going to do this month. I'd rather see you do one killer blog than a bunch of crappy blogs that aren't going to go anywhere. Crud blogs don't rank. You can quote me on that. Like, you got it. Well, you shouldn't, because I pulled a bunch of crud blogs yesterday, didn't I? We were looking at how to sell a house during a divorce, and there's like 2 or 3 divorce websites that are all about divorce that have blogs, and I wouldn't say they're crud. Or maybe I did, but they're okay. They're 600 words, 700 words. They're the basic overview, but nobody's really beat them yet. Nobody's come in and done anything better. So they're ranking because there's not a lot of competition. They're ranking because nobody's done it better. They're ranking because they have a lot of authority in the topic. So yes, you can rank a crud blog if there's no competition and you're the authority on that topic. But that isn't going to be a long-term strategy, okay? By the way, for some of the questions I see you guys asking, and I know you're Ballen Method owners, everything I spoke today is in the Ballen Method with a visual, step-by-step structure. Video, here, now learn this, here, now learn this, here, now learn this. You click the little toggle button and you go to the next part. And you click the toggle button and you go to the next part. So for those of you that are trying to learn everything I teach on a webinar, not going to happen. You're going to want to go study that stuff, please. If you want free, youtube.com/Lori Ballen. I mean, oh my goodness. Video after video after video after video. Check out what's in there. It's just not as structured, and I don't have all the screenshots and bullet points and step-by-step like I do in the training system, okay? Carol says she just wants a piece of my brain. Boy, I'll tell you, I'm 46 now, and it's funny because I keep laughing about that. Like, I'm still as creative, I still get as excited, but it feels like some of those little brain cells just drop off with each decade. So I don't know if you want to plug into them all. And one more thing before you guys go, please, I just have to give you this thing. If you go to YouTube, go to my channel and look at the video I loaded this morning on topical websites. Here's what I believe. I believe it's going to be continuously harder and harder and harder to rank against large portals and directories in any industry, okay? So like best restaurants and things like that, you're competing against Yelp and Restaurant Guide and all that kind of stuff. You know, best attorneys, you're competing against half-price lawyers and the law directories. Real estate, we're competing against Zillow and Trulia. These are in all industries. How small of a niche can you build and still do a good business on your website is the question you need to be asking yourself. If I built an entire website on waterfront properties and that's all it was, okay, if I got a ton of competition, that might not be a good option. Las Vegas, instead of building a real estate site that's all real estate, what if I built a real estate site that's all for Las Vegas high-rise condos? If you do the research, if you go look at Google, you'll see the difference. Google is returning websites that are specifically hyper-focused in response to a specific keyword. So instead of pet food, so if I Google pet food, I get like Petco, 1-800-PETS, that kind of thing. If I Google, and then I do exotic pets, it changes the results. Now I have exotic pet food companies. And then if I put sugar glider food, it completely changes it, sort of things about sugar glider. Well, if we're just trying to be all things real estate, we have a harder time with that. But if our entire website was about condos, or our entire website was about a community, or our entire website was about fixer-uppers, flips, and investments, or our entire website was about first-time home buyers and first-time homes, or our entire website was about relocating to Las Vegas, or our entire website was about retirement and 55-plus communities, how much better are our blog posts and our IDX and everything else going to do? Think about that. Please, just think about that. All right, I got to let you guys go. If you need a real estate website, ballenbrands.com. If you have a real estate referral, please remember me, Lori Ballen. I'm in Las Vegas, Henderson, and North Las Vegas, ballenvegas.com. Thanks, you guys. I hope you got value out of today.